Good morning everyone, it's Pierre speaking. It is Tuesday morning, it's the 7th of February 2017. Time is about 8:30 GMT time when we made this video clip. Starting off with the Euro Index 4-hour chart. Well guys, after yesterday we broke a hell of a lot of EMAs. The 4-hour changed now to red. Our original area where we wanted to go long was in this area here. The 38.2 FIP was there, 99.95. We had a 200 EMA there, another 200 EMA. And price broke those EMAs now. Currently we're sitting at 99.57, and my thinking is that we are going to go and visit this area here. It was last week's low area, and that is at 99.31. So keep your eyes on that level there for possible double bottom and then to go long again. If we for some reason do get confirmation to long from this area here, be careful as price can pull back to all these EMAs. That can give a roadblock again for possible M2 short. Remember, that was EMAs that broke to the downside, so price can pull back to it for M2 short setup on that. But as I said, I've got a feeling we're going to go and visit this low of last week. Euro US dollar 4-hour chart. This one here, we're still going to look for longs on the 4-hour as long as this 200 EMA holds at 0675. How did we get the zone? We flipped previous week from the bottom to the top, then we've got a zone starting at 727 coming down to 675. This is a key level for me. 675, 662, 683. We've got two EMAs there, a weekly pivot point, so we need solid support on this one. If we do find support there and we find MACD divergence on the 60-minute and confirmation on the smaller time frames to long, take note of this level here, 746. It's where the 55 EMA is, plus we've got a weekly pivot point there, so that can be a possible roadblock, and that can put a limit to the long that we are taking. If we do break for some reason then to the upside, next line will be the psychological level of 800 and last week's high at 850. But this will definitely be the first roadblock if we do get in here with a long. Euro JPY 4-hour chart. If we make new lows, guys, follow it with your FIP, and we can see we made a new low so that the potential earth and sky trading zone can move. Here the 4-hour tells us to short, daily tells us to long. We're going to FIP the 4-hour as long as this holds here. We're going to FIP the 4-hour to get a short zone. If we do that, we FIP previous week from the high to the low, then we've got a zone 121.54 going up to 122.23. In the zone, just before the zone, we have a 55, which is the daily 55. In the zone, a 4-hour 5, a 200 EMA, a weekly pivot point, previous support resistance. So there's a hell of a lot happening in the trading zone to short. However, getting closer to price this morning, this is a key level. It's a weekly second pivot point, and by now you know how I feel about second pivot points. That means we are highly oversold on this one already. Plus, it's a 200 EMA. Let's quickly have a look. That's the daily 200 EMA. So that can give us possible support here. Stochastic is oversold. So I will be looking for support here, confirmation to long. If we do get a long, take note of 120.64. Remember, that was a support level that broke. Support then turns into resistance. So that can be a problem area for profit take. If we do break then to the upside, keep your eyes on the roadblocks further ahead. If you look at the Euro Pound 4-hour chart, 4-hour tells us to long. How do we get the zone? We flip previous week from the bottom to the top. Then we've got a zone 8567 coming down to 8528. That will be the zone. We've got a weekly pivot point at 8538, and that is about it. A little bit of previous support resistance. So this is a key level where we are now, 8587. We've got a handbag full of EMAs there. We've got also a weekly main pivot point, previous support resistance. So if that holds, possible long can set up with profit take at 8644, last week's high area. If it do breaks for some reason, be careful as we can go to 8538. Pound US dollar 4-hour chart. This one I'm not going to flip, guys. We are currently sitting at a key level. It's mixed on the 4-hour. Daily tells us to short. However, look at this level here. It's a 204-hour EMA we've got a daily 55 EMA, and if we look to the left of the chart, that was previous support resistance. So this is a huge level for this pair. If it holds, possible longs can be taken back up to this area here, which is another roadblock. We have the 4 hour 55 at 2515, weekly pivot point 2532. So if we, I say again, if we do get a long, that will be the roadblock area. If we for some reason break, and we need a clear break, guys, we need a break, a pullback for possible M2 short. I just spotted this MACD divergence. I don't think I put it in my write-up. Look at that. Price is trending down, MACD is trending up, so that is confirmation. It's a warning sign that there's possible correction coming up on it. If we look at the pound JPY 4 hour chart, this one as well, if we make new lows this morning, follow it with your FIP to get the zone to move further down. 4 hour tells it to short, so we FIP previous week on the 4 hour from the high to the low. Then we've got a zone starting at 141.83 going up to 143.22. Just before the zone we have a pivot point, or rather, let's start there. That's the weekly main pivot point. We've got two 200 EMAs there, and a little bit further down 255 EMAs. So anything from 141.13, 141.85 will be my area where I would like to go short on this. Currently we are sitting at a key support level. It's a weekly pivot point, psychological level, and no MACD divergence. Stochastic is oversold, so possible counter trade can happen this morning on the pound JPY pair. Aussie US dollar 4 hour chart. Yeah, everything tells us that we need to go long. If we honor it, 4 hour daily, last week we closed 121 pips higher than the opening, so we flipped the 4 hour from the bottom to the top. Then we've got a zone starting at 7612 coming down to 7570. In the zone 7609 we've got a 55 EMA psychological level, previous support resistance. If that breaks, another area 7570 where I want to go long. For some reason, no, this is Forex, anything can happen. If 7570 doesn't hold as a support area, be careful, as we can drop down to this level here, 7508, 7500 and 7491. We've got two 200 EMAs there plus a psychological level, previous support resistance. So I say again, 7570 support level. If it doesn't hold, be careful, as we can drop down to this level where what's happening this morning, I've got tongue twisters, where I will relook to go long this morning. Aussie JPY daily pair, this one is still trapped for me in a triangle. I just don't have a feel for this chart, guys, so moveon.com. US dollar JPY, this one also key support level. 4 hour tells us to short, daily tells us to long. Last week we closed 203 pips lower than the opening, so if we flip previous week from the high to the low, then we've got a zone starting at this area here, 113.28 going up to 114.11. In the zone we've got 55 EMAs, two of them, and a 200 EMA. So 113.13, 113.47, 113.97 will be my areas where I would like to go short again. Currently we're getting close to 11.49, which is a roadblock. It's a pivot point. Stochastic is oversold, so possible support area for this one for that correction. US dollar CAD 4 hour chart. This one, everything tells us to short, daily tells us to short. Last week we closed 112 pips lower than the opening. What we did is we flipped previous week from the high to the low, then we've got a zone 3069 going up to 3119. Now yesterday price shot up but burned at the 75% FIP. Now we at a key resistance level 3155 for possible short. However, if we do break 3155 without confirmation to short to the upside, keep your eyes on this level here, 3169, 3189, 209. That is a big resistance roadblock area. We've got two 200 EMAs there, plus a 55 EMA, plus a psychological level. So 3155 don't hold, that will be my next area where I will relook to short. US dollar index 4 hour chart. Yeah, 4 hour tells us to short. Daily is mixed. I'm going to flip the 4 hour from the high to the low. Then we've got a zone starting at 110 going up to 110.54. Currently we're in the zone. We can find a roadblock at 132, but be careful guys. I've got a feeling that we can go a little bit higher, and this level here will be key, 168. Why? Because we've got a 55 EMA there, a 200 EMA there, a weekly pivot point there. If you look left of the chart, previous support resistance as well. So if this doesn't hold, we shoot up. That will be my area where I will relook to go short again. If you've got any questions, please pop in at the forum. I will be there to help you. Have an awesome one. Cheers.